Hi, this is the last tutorial for Chapter 8, the book that I use for this class, and this is going to be the last video for this class because we only go up through Chapter 8 in here. So this one is completing the CSV Reader project. So a professor keeps her students' test scores in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. This is shown in Figure 8-9 in the book. It's a set of 5 test scores for 5 students. Each column holds a test score and each row represents the scores for one student. Suppose the professor wants you to write a C sharp application. We're going to do Visual C sharp that reads the test scores from the Excel spreadsheet and performs some operation with them. Excel, like many commercial applications, has the ability to export data to a text file. When the data is when the data in the spreadsheet is exported, each row is written to a line and the values of the cells are separated by commas. For example, when the data shown in the figure is exported, it will be written to the text file in the following format. The first row will be 87, 79, 91, 82, 94. The next row is 72, 79, 81, 74, 88, and so on. This is called the comma separated value, or CSV. When you save a spreadsheet in this format, Excel saves it to a file with the CSV extension. In a C sharp application, you can read a line from the file into a string variable and then use the split method to extract the cell values as tokens. To learn how this is done, we're going to complete the CSV Reader project. The application's form has already been created for us. And then there's a file grades.csv that contains the scores to be read into the program. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my folder here. There's the grade CSV. I can double click on it. Even with the CSV, I'll show you this here, extension, it still can be opened up in Excel. There it is there. Okay, you can also open it up in a text editor, and I'll do that for you here. Go here, I'm going to do it in Notepad++. You'll need to navigate to where I have this in here. And there's the grade CSV, and there it is with the commas and everything in there. So makes it real easy. And those of you that have had Python, this is great for processing data like this because you convert the Excel spreadsheet into a CSV, and then you can read it right into Python and process it, similar to what we're going to be doing here. So let's go ahead and get this opened up in Visual Studio. This is the CSV reader. And this should be opening up here in a second now. Almost there. And there we go. So we get these closed off here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and split up these buttons just a little bit more, so a little bit more room in between them there, on there. So let's go ahead and process this. We're just going to go ahead and do our click event handler for the get button. We're going to do a try catch. So in our try, we have a string, line, an int, count that equals 0, and total, and a double for average. We're going to create a character array called DELIM for delimiter equals, and then in curly braces, quote, single quote, comma, and single quote. Okay, so we have to tell it what the characters are that's going to separate the data. In our case, we're going to use a comma, so that's what we set up a variable to do that. We're going to do our input file. It'll be equal to file dot oh, okay. Let me back out of that and leave that like that because we need to put in a stream reader. Input file, so that it recognizes input file down here. So it's going to be then file dot open text, passing in grades.csv. Okay. Do a while loop. So while not input file dot end of stream. We're going to set count plus, oops, messed that up there. We can do this again. Count plus plus. Line is going to be equal to input file dot read line. String bracket end bracket tokens equals line dot split on our delimiter that we have in our array up here. Okay, so we're creating a string here, or I'm sorry, an array of the test scores for the line on there. Okay, so after we get that, then total is going to be set to equal to 0. Then we're going to use a for each string str in tokens. And what we're going to do in here then is total plus equals int dot parse str. Takes care of the for each. So then average is going to be equal to double total divided by tokens dot length. Then our average list box dot items dot add, and then this is what we're going to add to this. It's going to be a $, quote, the average for student, and then in curly braces, count is, and then in curly braces, average. And the average, we want to do a colon, N1 for the format, and then curly brace, period, end quote, end parentheses, semicolon. Okay? So it's going to format that in there for us. Okay, that ends the while loop. Input file.close. And then we need to do our catch. Exception EX. Message box.show ex.message. Okay, so that takes care of this. So hopefully you kind of understand what we did here. We get the file set up and everything. Do a while loop while we still have data in there. We add 1 to our counter because that's going to count how many lines of data we're reading in. So then line equals input file.read line. So we get the whole line. We break that line down into an array based on the commas in there. So each entry into the array is going to be the data that's separated by the commas. We set our total equal to 0. We then go through our tokens, converting it into an integer, and then adding it to total. Calculate out the average on that, and then we print out the average for student. It says how many students there is, and then the average for that. Or I'm sorry, which student it is. If it's student 1, 0, student 2, so on. Okay, and then it goes up and gets the next data if there's any left on there. So, okay, let's go ahead and do the exit button. Oh, missed it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to clean this out of here. Okay, this should work. We'll see. Going to delete that out of there. Okay, so now when I run this, I'm going to get some error messages. It says the name Form 1 load does not exist in the current context. So we're going to double click on there. It's going to take me in here, and there's load plus equals form load. So I'm going to delete this out of here. Okay, and go back over here. I'm going to close this off in here. I'm going to run it again. And this time it runs. Okay, so that makes it nice. Just wanted to show you that how you can clean those out of there and do that. So there we go. So the average for student 1 is 86.6, and then so on down through there. So everything worked on there, no problems, great. Okay. So hopefully you got something out of this one also, and good luck in your class. Bye.